Because when you start talking about, the history all the time and who the ancient Israelites were, listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Hello everybody, this is Paul Neeson with Torah Life Ministries, and today I want to talk about something that I'm seeing more and more in the Hebraic Roots movement and just from people in general, this attitude that I'm better than you, because for whatever crazy reason, when it comes to scripture, Yeshua, our Messiah, never had that crazy attitude that I'm better than this person or this person is better than this person. Each person has to take responsibility for their own life and stop worrying about other people. There are, people out there that say we're better because we come from this or this is the history and so on. I'm telling you this, folks. I heard a great preacher once say, when it comes to the scriptures and salvation and all these things, it doesn't matter where you came from. It matters where you're going. And that's a great word and phrase, because I see too many people today focusing on who the ancient Israelites are and who is really Israel or so on. And listen, folks, as far as I know, we all bleed the same color. And we all come from different backgrounds, but that doesn't matter. When you hear the Gospel of Yeshua, how do you react to that? That's what matters. That's what matters, folks. And it makes no difference. No difference who came from where, from what color our skin is, from how much we think we know, we don't know. When you hear that Gospel of Yeshua Messiah, how do you respond to that? That's what it's all about. That's what it's about, and that's what it needs to be about. So people that want to say, well, fine, you want to learn your history. But don't start giving it to people with a better than me attitude. That's what the Pharisees and sages were doing, and that's what Yeshua came to rebuke. We need to understand, how do we respond to the call of Yeshua Messiah? He taught us to keep Torah, the guidelines and instructions, to learn them, to follow them, but he did it with humility. That's the example and the attitude of Yeshua Messiah. We look at Paul, one of the greatest sinners that ever lived. And what happened to him? He didn't start saying, well, this is my background, so I have to do this and I deserve. No. Right away, when he understood or had that experience and learned about the gospel, the good news of Yeshua Messiah, he answered that call. And that's what it's about, folks. It's about answering the call. In the scripture says, many are called but few are chosen? No. What it says in the Aramaic is, many are called but few choose. Folks, we're all called as human beings. We're all called to heed to and live by the guidelines and instructions of our Creator. We're all called for that. But how do we respond to that call is what it comes down to. There's many different ways to get the message out about Yeshua Messiah. I have no problem with people screaming and yelling and showing excitement about that. If your passion drives you to do that, all the better. If that's going to reach people, that's wonderful. We all have a different way to reach people. Some people don't even have to say a word, and they're reaching people in their actions alone. Other people, they like to talk and talk and talk. And other people like to scream and scream and scream. That's all good. It's all good if you're answering the call. What is that call? Are we getting people to hear the gospel of Yeshua Messiah? You don't have to convince somebody of it. You just got to let them hear it. Let them read it. From there on, that's up to them what they decide to do with it. They come to you, they have questions, they need help, by all means, point them in the right direction. But for you to sit and say nothing, or even worse, for you to sit and have this attitude like I'm better than you, that's not what the call's about. That's not what it's about. I would say that's opposite or goes against of the whole idea of the call, of answering that call. We have to let people know about Yeshua Messiah, who he is and what he wanted us to do. We have to let people know that it's possible to be done. For people that are brainwashed, we got to help them unlearn what they've learned and teach them what the scriptures are truly saying, or at least lead them to the scriptures to see what they're truly saying. We have the instructions and the guidelines, folks, of what we need to be doing and how we need to be doing it. It's there for us. Now, how we do that, for each his own. But having an attitude like I'm better than you, or who, I mean, it makes no reasoning at all that somebody would take any time at all in their ministry in getting the word out and answering the call to spend or have as a major point, this is who we are, this is who I am, and this belongs this, and teaching people and giving people a type of attitude of like, you need to listen to me because this is where we came from, or we're better than these people. Look, Rahab was some people say an innkeeper, some people say a prostitute, but she certainly wasn't an Israelite. You know, the people that came out of Egypt with the Israelites, they were from Egypt. They answered the call. They desired to seek, learn, and keep Torah, and they looked forward to a Messiah to come, answering the call. So we need to ask ourselves, are we answering the call, or are we pushing people away from it? And that's, I feel, what's happening now with a lot of people saying, you know, my blood is from here, so this is where I come from. That's great to learn your family lineage and your line, and also that's wonderful. But what difference is that going to make in what's happening in somebody's life now, and what we need to be doing? Is somebody going to say, well, I really don't want to answer the call of Yeshua Messiah. I really don't believe he's Messiah. Wait a second. You mean I have Jewish blood in me? Okay, now I'm going to live this way. All right? Or my skin's this color? Okay, that makes a big difference. Now I'm going to answer the call. No, folks. You know, me, I'm Jewish. I'm 100% Jewish. And I can get on this video camera and I could say to everyone out there, like the attitude of many people in the Messianic movement might have, or the Hebraic roots movement, they start saying, well, you know, I'm Jewish, so I'm better than all of you. Or I'm this, so I'm better than all of you. That's not the way. That's not the attitude Yeshua had. That's not the attitude of Messiah. And that's not the message of Scripture. You know, by me acknowledging I'm Jewish and have an appreciation for my family history and so on, wonderful. But by me making that part of a call that was never part of Scripture and never was asked to be mentioned, let alone be as the forefront of somebody's preaching and information like that, we need to be careful about. We really shouldn't worry about offending people with the truth of Scripture and the truth of history. If they get offended, that's their issue. And that's fine and good if we want to do that. But when we start, you know, with that attitude like, you know, we're better. You know, even if you know somebody who's slipping up, you don't have that attitude, well, you know, we're better, because we're all slipping up, folks. You know, and if you think you're not slipping up, you know, you're slipping up probably more than anyone else. And I think I have friends out there who came from every different walk of life, who are believers now. And they're every color, they're every belief in their religious background, or not even their religious background, and how they're brought up. Everyone, I mean, across the board, everyone. It doesn't matter where they came from, folks. It matters where they're going. We need to get that. So get it. And I think if you get that, it'll put you on a path and help keep you focused on things that matter. Because when you start talking about, you know, the history all the time and who the ancient Israelites were, listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So stop spending so much time, folks, talking about these things. And there are a good amount of people on the internet doing this. I'm not just talking about one person. And that's a big problem. I know people spending money to get some tests to see if they have Jewish blood in themselves. It doesn't matter. You know, they say with happiness and joy, oh, I got some Jewish blood in my lineage. It doesn't matter, folks. We have a call to follow Yeshua Messiah, so follow Yeshua Messiah. Teach the message and look at everyone as equal and even, because now we're all born again and now we're all Israel if you decide to answer that call. Beyond that, it doesn't matter. One way or the other, it just doesn't matter. If you think it matters, and if it matters to you, so fine. You know, it's something that matters to you, but according to the Scriptures, it doesn't matter. So we need to get that point across, and I'm so appreciative for the people out there who are making videos teaching about the things that do matter and getting that information out. And again, each person has a different way, a different style, and I appreciate all the different styles and all the different people that are out there on the internet and just out there in general getting the word out about you, Yeshua Messiah. But hey, you could be walking down the street and see one guy in the corner yelling and screaming, and you could say that guy's doing it wrong. But he might be reaching more people than you are. And so you never know. You never have to say how somebody's doing something. But as for what they're doing, folks, let's just do things that matter, okay? Let's focus on the real things and stop bickering about these things that just don't matter. You know, it says in this, scriptures and just in general, if you argue with a fool, you have two fools arguing. Don't start, getting in a conversation with people about things that don't matter. And that's why I avoid these things that don't matter, and I talk about things that matter. And yes, we have the understanding, and we can follow 100%. We can do our best to follow Scripture. And if somebody messes up, they're out of here. There's no room for sinners, all right? But no, that's not the attitude of Yeshua. The attitude of Yeshua is, I'm going to stick around that person. I'm going to help that person. I'm not going to help them sin. What I'm going to help them do is answer the call. I'm going to help them see the call. If they're willing, if they want to, if they desire. If not, I'm going to pray about it and find out a way to reach that person. And sometimes that way to meet that person might be doing some things that we might not think is the most efficient way or the best way, but it's not for us to decide how to reach that person. It's up for our Creator to lead us and tell us and show us what is the best way and what's the best thing to do in a particular situation. And that's what matters, it's realizing that each situation is individualized, each situation is different. Somebody might be asking me to go somewhere or do something, I'll turn them down left and right if it doesn't line up with Scripture, or if I think it's a dangerous situation. But if my Creator tells me to go, if I'm praying, anybody says go there, look, I'm going to put my feelings aside about the situation, and I'm going to go. And I'm going to see what our Creator is going to do in this person's life that I'm going to see, or what I'm going to do. I just try to focus on things that matter. And that's it. And I try to stay humble, realizing I'm not perfect either. And there you go, folks. There you have it. Until then, everybody, this is Paul Neeson with Torah Life Ministries. Put your comments and questions below the video. You can go to my website, Torah Life Ministries, right here. Just click on this link. And you can also go to my YouTube page. Just click here and you go to my YouTube page. Until then, everybody, have a great day, and shalom, shalom. Hello, everybody. This is Paul Neeson, your Health Watchman. Thank you for checking out my channel. If you'd like more Bible-related videos, you can click right here now to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can get a whole bunch of great videos on these topics. If you want to check out my website, TorahLifeMinistries.org, where I have so many different videos, you can click right here, right now, and it'll take you to that website as well. Until then, everybody, have a great day, and shalom, shalom.